Hi guys, welcome to the Diary Podcast where we unpack life, faith, culture, and all the spicy bits in between. My name is Juan K. Yabwa. You can also call me Jay. And today with me I
am Samuel Osei Tim.
I'm Petrolina. You can call me Pet.
And
I'm Gloria.
Okay, so as you know already, we are already friends outside of the podcast. We're just bringing our normal conversations to the podcast, okay? So we're here to share what we usually do, and I think that is a beautiful thing. So we're going right into the topic of today because it's going to be a hot one. We need all the time and all the minutes, okay? So today we are talking interracial, intercultural marriages. We are talking, why did you marry this person? We are talking, do you really want to go that far? We are talking, do you want to lose your background and your culture? We are talking, why do you eat pepper? Okay, that's what we are talking about today. So first of all, I want us to go straight and kind of define what intercultural marriage is and then interracial marriage is, just to set the tone.
Okay. So intercultural marriage is when two people from different cultures different tribes try to get married. And also with the interracial marriages is with two different races like Africa and Asia try to get married. So basically that.
Yeah. But I was also thinking that even if, let's say, a German marries a Ghanaian, it's usually termed as interracial.
Yes.
But it can also be termed as intercultural, right? Looking at it from a cultural point of view, like two different cultures. But I think we use intercultural just to define like marriages, like maybe northern region of Ghana and maybe a Ghana, that kind of thing. To explain that, okay, they're all from Ghana, but then they're from different cultures.
Exactly. But I think that with the interracial, the main one is interracial, one from Ghana and the one from Germany.
You're going to get married. You're marrying a black person. Why are you marrying a black person? So anybody can, answer from their own personal point of view. Why are you going to marry a black person? In 2025, it's modern. It's given.
It's globalized.
Yeah, it's giving global. Why are you marrying someone from Ghana?
I when I came here to school, I had someone. Then there was a breakup. Afterwards, I decided, okay, let me just see who comes in. And I went on dates twice with white people. The connection. I felt something was really missing. It's like, there is, the love, they wanting to love you. You could see the affection, you could feel it. They have it all. You just walk and they hold your hands, which you wouldn't see a black man do. Very difficult. But
most
not all.
Not all, okay. Not all black men wouldn't do it, but some will also do it. But then, I felt like the marriage had a different thing from the I love you, the dating stage, the courting stage. If we enter, we are going to marriage as a business level, So I sat there and I decided, I'm not sure a white person will work for me because it's nice when you have a half-caste baby and all that. And at times you see some blacks walk around with their partner. It's even give them a different extra, their shoulders, their attention, and they feel good. But then I wasn't looking like that outside thing. Yeah. Something that would make me feel good, feel at peace. And I felt that something was missing. It's like the rest of my life, it's like I was going to explain myself for a very long time. But that doesn't mean that we don't also have whites that would pick up and get it from the odds. You could feel like, excuse you, are you an African?
African in the white skin.
The white skin. Some whites are also like that. Yeah. But personally, after those 2 dates, I felt like something was missing. And I told myself I didn't want to be colonized again in marriage.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I told myself that I didn't want to. I just wanted to do someone also from my country, not necessarily tribe, whoever I'm married to is an Ashanti. But I didn't really mind whether an Ewe, Ashanti. I don't care. All I wanted was a man that's ready to take care of you.
Race.
Yes, so I didn't really care. But then I knew a black man would from my town, from my country, would understand and get things without me explaining myself, basically. So I tested it. Not tested it in the other way someone might think, going on dates to
Nobody's
understand.
that way.
Yeah, people might read in between the line differently.
Okay.
So I realized it wasn't just going to work, and I went for it because I dated a black guy before. So I felt and I knew the difference, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so disclaimer, all of us are married to black people.
Yeah.
So that's where where we're coming from. But, it's still something interesting to explore because we are living in Italy, so we do have other options.
Exactly.
And so, it's really interesting for me to know. What about you? Why did you go for a black man? Then after that, we go to the man.
Oh, okay. For me, I got married in Ghana. Even though there are white people there, there are not as many as here. Mm-hmm. So the options were not so much to opt for a white person.
Okay.
Yeah.
But growing up, I never saw myself getting married to a white person, basically. I wanted someone who would easily understand my culture. I wanted someone who would easily come into the family with every understanding that they are, that you wouldn't really have to say lots of things, explain so many things. So that was why I went in for also specifically Anakan, because with the different cultures, I didn't really know so much about it.
Okay, so you didn't even want the intercultural, like you didn't want even a person from a different culture.
No, I wanted to stay with
same language.
Exactly, because I saw how nice it was because my parents came from the same place. Yeah. And it was very nice. When I was so proud whenever I tell my friends, both parents are coming from Kweu. I'm a full Kweu. I don't have to say I'm half this, I'm half that. I am full this.
Said I'm quarter this and quarter that. And
I was always so proud of myself going that way. So I felt okay. I think it's okay if I just get someone from my tribe.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't have like a different cultural shock or anything of that sort.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
I wasn't ready to really explore so many tribes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, mine spun out from social and environmental influence.
Okay.
I grew up from Ghana, typically, a very root area. My mom will be certain, very rough. And what we see inform or affect what we do naturally. And all my life, I had never seen a white until probably, if not watching a television, you would not have the luxury of seeing a white person. We only admire them from afar.
Yeah.
And they seemed to be like the star for us, very unreachable. So it's never dawned on me to actually look into an interracial setting. Never. When I happened to travel abroad and, settle in Italy, I now, began to see the different vibes, they could, bring. But then there's a whole lot with marriage, which will not be like you having a fling with a white lady. Marriage goes beyond just, a tap and then a go. No. And for that matter, it didn't sit well with me because all my life, I've never seen myself in that picture. That is number one. I've also lived in an area where the people around you were of the same race and they were marrying within the same race. And it's never picked up on me to, look into the other race. That is one thing. And having to live in Italy, I also had the opportunity to, make friends. And the farthest I could go was friendship. I could never think of a spouse that was probably racial. I never had that particular intention. So I believe it's an influence that set up from the environment and social setting. It had picked on me and it had gotten to me, and that was it. And I don't see anything bad with interracial relationship. Once there is that understanding, there is the agreement, you would be able to understand their culture and explain your culture, and they would be able to set in well. I think it's also good. Maybe in the near future, if I'm to look very well, I could probably think of
And you're actually not going to
Near
be a
future.
You're already in your
future is
future.
not happy. Your future is here.
Already
now
in your
and you're
future.
going-
Once you married, you married.
Yeah.
But then
Exactly.
if things were to, if I had to look at things differently, maybe I could have considered interracial because there are so many pluses that comes with interracial as well. But in the meantime,
Green card.
we well, green card or probably getting a citizenship, it's not even way, because if you use that as an ideal reason for getting marriage, there's so much a problem with it. The marriage should come with the understanding.
Yeah.
And in as much as
Should be more
there
than
is the
that.
affection, there is love, there is understanding, I don't think there is anything that should cease, not racial, not tribal. And with the tribal setting, I would also say I would have gone in for any tribe. I don't care.
Okay.
The most important thing is there was love. Once there is love, I don't mind if you are Neve, if you are from the north, if you are a Ga. It actually does not puts me off. No.
Yeah.
The most important thing is we understand each other.
Yeah.
It was growing up after some time that I got to realize there are whole lots of traditional systems in other families which can become,
Sure.
a
A problem. Yeah.
if you get into some tribal or cultural marriages.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I never knew.
Yeah.
But then, notwithstanding, even if there were those kind of things, once you know them, you know how to play safe by them. You
Yeah.
know how to carry
Brace
yourself
yourself.
with them.
Yeah.
It can also be a very good area to venture. And the only thing is the same faith, no problem. But even if I should marry a Muslim who understands me in my Christian faith and we are okay with it, I don't think there should be any problem with it for me as well. No. So I chose who I chose because at that point in time, that was what my hand could reach, and that was where my love had gotten into, and it's okay for me that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people get married to, I think people choose their spouse for different reasons in terms of even culture and all that. I also chose a black person because honestly speaking, I saw, you see the way you're saying, some people wanted maybe mixed kids. I wanted black kids. I was fixed on it. I knew that I wanted my kids to be full black because I kind of had this idea, and I still have it, that I want to promote a kind of black people. So I want to contribute to the black people, to the black community, and be able to give to the black community good children, or good children who then become good people, or a good man or a good woman, just contribute to the black community. So my way of doing that was I knew I wanted to marry a black
children.
person. Exactly. So that we show the good example of a black marriage, the good example of a black, spouse, the good example. Because we always have this narrative as blacks. There's been a long lasting narrative, and I just want to be part of the change.
Positive one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just knew that I want in fact very black children. And I think I'm working towards it. What do you think?
A way to contribute your quota in the black community positively.
Exactly.
I actually love black kids,
Wow.
So
At the last time,
that just
telling
my
me
personal
by your color and your husband's color. I can't wait to
have,
see
like,
Yeah.
the kind of
So-
black.
And at the moment,
quality
my
you
daughter is
produce.
quite dark, so I'm quite very happy about
Yeah.
that.
I was just
Missing a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. So,
It's beautiful.
okay. So then I wanted to talk about this. They say marry your own kind. This is coming from the ancestors and the elders.
Oh.
Marry your own kind. What do you have to say about
mean-
this? Marry your own kind.
By marry your own
And some
kind as
people
a
think-
culture or what?
You
Or
know,
character,
I'm sure they talk
what?
about culture, they talk about values, they talk about, and let's say you want to marry someone who is even maybe a white person, they will say, no, it's good to marry your own kind. What is your response to this? Is this an advice you would give to your child now? Or to what extent would you give this advice?
I think people say this or advise because of probably experiences that they have been through.
Mm-hmm.
People give, my mom, for instance, gave a reason why she didn't want a particular tribe because of experiences that she's heard. people go through, and she's also seen people go through with the same tribe. It's like the same problem cuts across that particular tribe.
Okay.
So when she didn't say you should marry, she didn't tell me who to marry. There were instances that as a joke, she would say, no, she doesn't want this, she doesn't want that. But I didn't listen to her. I made my own choice.
Yeah.
For like, couples can understand themselves, but it only becomes a problem when they are children. Especially when you marry people from different religions. You understand each other. You go according to yours, I go according to mine. Where do the children go? When the children come in, because everybody would like to pull the children to their side. So what happens?
They make their own choices.
No, when they are kids, they can't make the choice until they grow. So as they are growing, what happens? Who takes what? Where do they go? So in that case, when someone says marry your own kind, it becomes much easier to also groom the children in the kind that you are. As in, if you're a Christian, you're able to bring them up in Christianity.
Yeah.
You know, instead of marrying from different religions, that it becomes, you might, as I said, you might understand, you might not have any problem. You go wherever, I go wherever I want. But when the children come, you can easily bring them up in the same kind, in the same religion that you, both of you, find yourself. So it makes it very simple, and it makes the children more relaxed in that upbringing, other than them going
like
and
stable.
they making a stable, exactly, to make their decision.
If I'm talking about my kind, for me, I never really thought maybe marrying a guy, and it's not like I had a problem. I felt like the extended family, there are a lot of people. Like there were some family members I didn't even know. So I decided if I meet a guy today, I'm taking you straight to my house to be interrogated. Which family are you coming from? To make sure that we are not siblings, or we are not family, and your mother is my mom's sister. No.
Yeah.
And by the time they realize maybe we would have done something, and then you can't do anything. It's like we've missed blood. So it's not like I had a problem with my tribe, no. But I just didn't want to make a mistake I can never correct or to undo. So I mean, whether it was an ever, whatever, the rest,
moving away from your...
Yeah, I didn't really care. And for me, I didn't really care. I know in Ghana, we have a lot of people that have different perceptions about other tribes and all that. And you see, but then just that you can't judge the whole tribe based on that one person or whatever the person had done. So I didn't really have an issue with it. But like what she was saying, marry your own kind, especially when it comes to Christianity. I grew up in a Christian home. I was born into a Christian home. And growing up, I wasn't ready to joke with my Christian life either. So I wasn't ready to marry also someone who is an unbeliever. And I wasn't ready to be like, I'm coming to change you in the marriage. No, we are in the marriage. Come in with what's the same. Let's have the same faith, and let's be ready to do it. It's not like I'm not coming to babysit you on who to believe. Because at times you might say you might be able to change your partner. You end up being changed. Yeah. So, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go that way. I had instances where guys that they were unbelievers wanted me. But I just made them know, you know what, it's not like you're not a good guy, you're not a good this, that. But because you're not a Christian, I'm not ready. I don't want to start, put my invest my time, my heart, the effort. Then, broken heart has its own way. Then going back to square one, like, I'm hurt, so let's not start. So my kind, I wasn't ready to go with someone who is not a Christian or even and not ready to also marry a Muslim. A Christian will be ready to marry a Muslim. They will all do their own things. But like you were saying, when kids come in, who do they choose? Choose the faith of mom or choose the faith of dad, or wait till I grow and make my own choice. Like, I didn't want us to also compromise, do so many things. So marrying my own kind was also very important for me. But then when it comes to tribes, culture, I didn't mind. But my Christian life, that one I was ready to go with it. Like, it's God for me, God for you. Let's head on with God. Yeah. If it's not, bye.
You realize that we are doing intercultural, but we are also talking about faith a lot.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of related in a way. Well,
yeah.
Because we're all Christians, so then it's kind of like one of our main factors for choosing, I guess.
Well, for me, if I'm to give such an advice, I'll think twice.
Yeah.
The reason being that the experience and the social environment I grew in, it's not the same environment I'm growing my children in.
Exactly.
At the moment, my children are living in a place where the people they see around them are white. So if tomorrow she brings a white home, that it is my boyfriend, what would you say? Marry your own kind.
They are their own kind now.
That is what she sees as her own kind.
True.
And I believe in the olden days, our parents will say these things, probably like Gloria was saying, because of experience. And if probably, I live in a principle where your experience might be a good advice or a good thing for me to hold on to, but it doesn't necessarily mean the person I'm going to meet would be the same as what you experience.
Yeah.
So I would want to explore. I'd want to try. I don't want to take your word for what you are saying and lose probably what would have become a better or a bigger husband or a wife for me, rather than me going in for any other thing. So I think that advice, in as much as I would listen to it, I would not be able to give that advice now because of the situation and the circumstances around. I think I would go in for, if you think you love the person, go for him or go for her. Because at the moment, the cultural differences are not going to be much. Because growing the child here, there is too much little you can teach as far as culture is concerned. You can visit Ghana all you care, but then she will still have her environment and her social setting speaking to her more than what she's going to hear.
Yeah.
I grew up like that. There was no way you would put a white lady here, you put a black lady there, they are all beautiful, they are all with the same character, the same setting, and I would have chosen the white. Why? Because the setting and the environment I grew in it really has printed in my mind that the only thing I'm to go for is a black, and that had been mine growing up. So for them, it would be different. If I'm probably to go in for that advice, I would really have to do a little touches to it and try to explain one or two things. And I believe it is better for the parents to give us their reasons and point us in a direction rather than to tell us not to go in for this kind, but marry your own kind. Come out with the experiences, come out with the advice, come out with why you think, people have reasons why they think this tribe is not good.
Yeah.
But that reason it's not a default reason.
Yeah, it
there are
doesn't cut
people
across
within the tribe that are very different.
Yeah.
So I actually would look at it in a different way. If I'm to give that advice, like I said, I would add, go where you think you have peace and you think you would have an everlasting marriage, where love would stay. If you think you find it in a white person, I'll support you.
Yeah.
If you think you find it in a black person, I'll support you. And when you come to the black, if you think you find it in another tribe, I don't have a problem. For me, that tribal setting, that tribal situation that our parents or our forefathers would used to, deal with, I don't think in these end times it is there. Unless probably it happens to those traditional brute people. We are still dealing with tribal situations, but there's been modernization to the tribal situation. Yeah. There's been a whole lot of, previously they will tell you if someone's husband dies, there's a whole lot of cultural setting. They have to keep you in the room with the deceased for a week. I don't think it's still going on. And even if it does, where we have gotten to, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And for that reason, I'll choose to advise anybody differently. Marry your own kind will not be a statement I would really give out. I'll choose to differ a little bit. You can consider your own kind, but I would give you room to also look at other kind, because it doesn't change anything. Once we are people, we are people.
Yeah.
When you cut my hand, what will ooze out is blood. It will not be black. It will not be white. It will not be Akan blood. It will not be, So once we understand
It
the
is,
setting, any other person goes. It's character, trait, responsible people. We are looking out for
exactly.
people who understand they would love you to the end.
Yeah.
And I think that is what I'll be looking out for more than the kind.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to say that I would also highlight values, like your values. Marry your own kind in terms of values.
Yes.
But I will also highlight what it is like to marry someone from another culture,
Exactly.
because it's
Let
not
them
a bed of
choose, let
roses.
them
I will
make
let
the
you know what
difference.
it's like to marry maybe an Italian, what it's going to be like, and what it's going to be like to marry your own. But then I'll let you know that the most important though are the values, because that is what is going to hold, the family together. Concerning, back to our intercultural marriages, and more so in Ghana, we know that there have been a lot of stories where some families didn't allow people to get married because of, don't marry this culture, don't marry this tribe, don't marry this tribe. I have had an experience with someone, the person is old, the person told me that he wanted to get married to someone when he was younger. They didn't allow
Someone
him. He wanted to marry, they were both Ghanaians, but they didn't allow them because they were from two different tribes.
Okay.
And from the way he speaks, so he made it very, very clear that years later he met her. He got married to someone else afterwards, and I think she also went to get married. But afterwards, when they met, you could see that there was still the connection, and he really deeply regretted it, and he wasn't even as happy as he thought he would be, even in the marriage that he was in, And it happens all the time that people are just separated for tribe when this kind of excuses, but they don't realize that the happiness of some people are being, let's say, cut short.
It is very important that you consider your peace in any choice you be making. The reason why I'm saying this is many people turn a blind eye to what their family members will be saying. For instance, a lady wants to marry the white. The white family is really rejecting, and they feel we can do it regardless. Now, you will not have peace.
True.
Everybody in the family will target you. Why? Because you are of a different race.
Yep.
And once they target you, anything you do will not be nice. You would have every element in your fiber wanting to prove to them that you are better and you are good,
and you
for
can
who
spend
they
maybe
are.
the whole life trying to prove this.
And that is the error. So it is better you go where you are accepted. First of all, there was a term I normally said that if I'm going into a marriage and I find out that one person within the family is at loggerheads with me, I must think twice. It's either I win that person over, make sure everybody in the family agrees with me. Why? I want peace. In everything I do, my peace is paramount. If there is anything that will trigger that peace, I'll stay away. And marriage is a long life situation. We normally say it in church, till death do us part. So not until then, you have locked yourself up. And your peace being, trapped like that, I don't know how I can live. So I believe that irrespective of the racial, the tribal, the family's consent is very important. So like you're saying, the family was saying, listen, he could have gotten in that family, and yet the kind of peace and the joy he's expecting, he would not have gotten it.
I see your point.
Because they did not marry, you feel you could have
been
experienced, But then if they had gotten together, one auntie, one sister, one, chair, the way they'll pick up with your spouse or they'll pick up with your partner would always keep you on your toes. You would either have to defend her all your life, or you would have to defend your family all your life.
Sure.
And one thing that is very poisonous in marriage is when you are set up between your spouse and your family. It is one area I believe, well, for me, I never want to stand. And I don't think anybody wants to be that, where you are kept to choose between your spouse or your family.
It's like a consistent battlefield with bullets flying everywhere.
You can't settle.
So
I believe that in my form of advice, if no matter how much you love the person, if you think the family is going to be a problem, it's either you work on that before you get settled, or you sacrifice that particular relationship, because your peace at the end of everything really matters. A whole lot can go on.
But I also think that the parents should give the couple some chance. Yeah. Probably the parents want, because of their experience or whatever, they want this particular person for you. You have to by force marry from this particular tribe. But it's not the same. You had an encounter with a different person from a tribe, and you experience whatever you experience. It doesn't mean I'm getting married to the same person. Yeah. They might be from the same tribe, but their behaviors or character are different. Yeah. So parents should be open. Parents should be more acceptable. They should accept whoever their children bring, and they should wish them well. The most important thing is, this person is good. Take a blind eye to the tribe or wherever the person is coming from. So far as the person is good, so far as you think the person can really take care of your child, the person is not violent, the person connects with your child, you see this glow whenever your child is with this person, just give them a chance. Because at the end of the day, you are not the one in the marriage, even though it's your child. Yeah. But allow them. Yeah. I think most parents are becoming helicopter parents because of a particular tribe, which shouldn't be.
With the defensive nature of parents.
It's true.
They always want to protect their own.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them too much. I believe people within tribes should also work on themselves, because whatever you do in a particular marriage becomes a stigma that affects the tribe.
Sure.
And I believe there's been a whole lot of situations around certain tribes that has made it too appalling for families to accept those particular tribes. It should not be so. It is actually putting the pressure on people who can live better within that tribes from reaching out to whoever they want to reach out to. And I think it lies with us. If I know I am representing probably an Akan in my marriage, I must do well for Akans. Yeah. If I'm representing a black in my marriage, I must do well for the blacks. Because whatever I leave as an imprint would become the motive why a family member will tell the other family member this particular group, no-go area.
Yeah. Let me just say this one. I'm going to use two things. You representing yourself very well. I always tell Gloria, like in our class, like the only two blacks being put to manage a class. And we're in every class, even if there is a black person, there is also a white person. I remember when we started, I said, Akosha, you know something? Let's represent blacks here to the extent that, in the future, anytime they would want to employ a black person. And we've represented blacks so well that, every time you hear parents, not just in our class, but also in other classes, when I pass, they even say hi. Even though my child is not in their class. And you hear them talk about us. And I'm sure even not just in our class, having those 24 kids, but also in other classes, if they have different perceptions about blacks and how they might even manage a kind of company, work, giving a task or whatever, it's changed their mentality. And they say it to the extent like, they are like, oh, your child is in those two black teachers' class. Oh, you are lucky. Oh, they speak like, they even wished their kids were in our hands, even though we are two black teachers. So at times I know it's like we've done it so well that it's left a mark that they would never stop talking about it. And I can't imagine the number of parents out there talking about us to others, saying, "Oh no, blacks are good. I know of these black teachers. They are not my kids' teachers. But I hear other parents talk about them. Blah blah blah. Representation is very, very important. So wherever you find yourself, you have to do it and do it well, because you don't know. One nut spoils the whole palm tree, and you might not know what you are doing. So when you do it knowing that like sustainable development,
like an ambassador.
Yeah, you help the future, like the generation yet to come, or those that is about to come after you. You help them very, very right. And you talking about like values and also in our kids and all that. I'll use my mother as an example. When I was coming to get married, I like my husband hair grown. I don't like downcast hair. Then she was so like very imposing and said, hey, Nikema, that's what I want. And she was so like on me. Now we are not talking about whether the guy can take care of your child, whether the guy is a Christian.
About appearance.
His hair alone, because it's grown, it's like something to him. And I was like, it's not what you want. You are not the one marrying the guy. Moreover, I met the guy. He was cutting his hair very like short. I wanted it all grown. And where we are coming from, the weather is so cold that if you don't have some little hair on your head, it's also worrying you. Like she was like back and forth with me. And people will say, and you're a Christian daughter and your father is an apostle. And like, so, you know, going into the church and how people might say that, hey, even apostle back cry, anything, you know, that kind of thing. Then like my daddy was like, Mommy, I know your mom has been forth and back with you with Lee's hair. How do you want it? And I said, how I want it is how I've explained to her. And that guy is not cutting his hair. So if the hair alone is not going to make us marry, then maybe she will marry the guy. He said, no, I'm not here because I'm also like, I want to be like what your mom is saying, but I'm trying to understand you. All I'm trying to say is that if it makes you happy, when he dresses with it, it makes you glow. It's like it's getting you to another space. Then we take it. That is what you want. So you are going for it. So it's not what your mom is saying. I can tell you that my mommy was even going now. My wedding colors now, she wants to break Bible verse. So you know, our mothers and all that, they always have their own advice, and they at times it's become like imposition, like they are kind of advising us, but then there is like none means small, none is a no call. Like what I really like, that's what you should take. But then they don't know that we also have our own choices.
Exactly.
You know, you don't like a guy with a grown hair.
Generation.
But if what your daughter wants a guy with a hair like all that. But if that's where my feelings, I put my hands in there and it makes me happy. But you don't like it. But you know, she was trying to put Christianity, the position of your parents and all that. But then in it all, we have that one person going into the marriage, and that was me. So let me make my choice, okay? So it boils down to culture, what values, whatever. We might be guiding our kids, whether color, racial, whatever culture it is. We should let them just make their choices as well.
Yeah.
Because if not, we will end up giving them someone that we like, but they don't like. And they will go and come back home. You know?
Dealing with representation. Now, the whites are afraid of marrying their children to the blacks. Why? Because most of the time, the reasons why blacks would want to marry the white
It's for documents.
is nothing other than, superficial reasons.
Yeah.
They want to get a document. Like we're saying, some people are so glued
They want
to
the
the
Miss
fact that
Alice.
they have a mulatto type of, kid. And, all these reasons are very superficial. Actually, they don't mean anything in marriage. And not until you be able to position the person you are marrying in the highest form of pedestal in your mind and in everything you do, you have no hold. They go in, they get what they want, and they move out. So it has been consistent. At times, it is the wealth.
Yeah.
They feel there is money in this particular lady's home. They go in, and that is it. And that alone has created a mindset within the minds of the people, just like cultural values. There are some people, they are considered very lazy. There are some groups, they are considered bad treats. They treat ladies very badly. And for that matter, people feel, I won't allow the family go there. Yeah. We have the chance to represent ourselves very well. We have the opportunity to represent whether you are an Ewe, whether you are an Akan, whether you are a Dangbe, you are from the north, whether you are an Asian, whoever you might be, let your focus not be on the superficial thing.
Yeah.
And I believe with time, those particular statements will be changing.
Yeah,
because there is nothing bad with people racially marrying.
Not at all.
The only bad thing that sets in is when people are going in for the advantages or what they would get. In the long run, it brings a very bad taste in the mouth of whoever probably witnessed it.
Yeah.
And whoever will be pampering or bringing the shoulder for the other person who experienced it to cry on. Because the moment that happens, if I'm an auntie, to hell with any children or any child of mine who would want to, go into any kind of racial situation. I'll do everything possible to
Say no.
separate them.
Yeah.
And that is where it becomes a problem. So I
Yeah.
believe we representing ourselves right wherever we find ourselves, it's key. And if we keep on doing this, some of these things will become really very lovely. I love it when I see racial marriages. You
It's
know,
beautiful.
now on TikTok, you find them dancing.
Yeah.
I believe it's not just for the TikTok
The culture
situation.
is also
there should
being
be
transferred
the
to them.
relationship. You don't only make people see how you dance,
Yeah.
but how you treat the person off camera is
exactly.
also very important.
Talking
I think it's
about
okay.
you referring to like maybe at a point in time we would all understand that interracial marriage is not just about getting maybe a green card, a citizenship, or all that. We are all bringing up our kids in this country. One thing is that if you've realized that most relationship of white, it starts from school. Okay, they start dating, becoming friends from Quinta, then they go to grade 6, then like so many years of dating even before marriage. And this is a situation, but if you give birth to your kid here and your kid is getting to know this why, maybe they met in school, aside the fact that they met in school, your daughter is already going in with her own green card. Aside the fact that she's got her own green card,
of course,
she's got her own job. So all those things
The foundations will be different.
it will be different. So once it's going to be different, it will give like also white parents the peace that, oh, maybe this black girl is not coming into the life of my baby boy just because of maybe a green card, a citizenship, or because they've got money and all that. Because trust you me, some kind of characters that you might find in a black marriage, you might still find it in a white marriage.
Yeah.
You'll find a white treating a woman different badly, and you'll find a man also treating a woman badly, and vice versa. I mean, it's beautiful if like we are able to spread our culture, anything that we have back home with other races. It will be very beautiful. Like Sami was saying that you see other people, black, white, and some they've been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it will be nice. Me, if my daughter or my son comes home with a white guy, I don't have a problem. So far as you really like it, go for it.
You know what you want.
Go get it. Because like, I think one thing I never actually went in for a white person was I didn't really like the smoking as well. And it would be very hard that if we put 10 white guys here, you can find only one
Italians,
person.
to be precise, probably.
No, maybe, Italian, because I was also here in Italy.
Yeah.
I'll find just one person not smoking. And I can't even just take it, moving, just going for train, going to work, and people are just smoking on me. So imagine you are ready to say, okay, so they do us part, then I'm here, 30 years of marriage, 25 years of marriage, and you are smoking, and this person has been smoking maybe, let's say, when he was 16, 12 years old, till maybe you met him at 34, 35, and you think you can change such a person. No, and I also didn't want to face the situation by out of smoking, the person health-wise, I might lose the person very early. So there were so many things that like was going through my head.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy life till like, we are old and we know that at this age we are ready to go. Like there were so many things. But if my daughter said, I'm ready to stay with a man who that smokes, I'm ready to stay with a guy, a girl that smokes. If that is your choice, go for it. But for me, I didn't really like it. Unless that maybe I'm going to be like an African man. Like, no, you're smoking. Like, you're going to be
I think what will be important is to tell them, if you go into this is what the picture is going to be. You want it.
Don't go and come back.
So they can make their choice.
Don't go and come back.
Now I wanted us to talk about something very interesting. You guys are all married, right? I want you to tell me something, a culture shock that you experienced, if there's any, between if you married someone from a different culture. Was there any culture shock or something that was quite different from even your experience? Or maybe it's not just from the culture, but maybe, because sometimes you are both from Ghana. One is raised in Italy, one is raised somewhere else, or something like that. Is there anything that you experienced like that?
Frankly, I have never been looking at, cultural differences or cultural setting. But if there is anything I realized in my marriage, probably before dating, prior to getting married.
Okay.
There was a setting. And that setting informed my mindset in a particular way. But when I got married, I realized that setting was just a fallacy. Mm-hmm. It was there as as a painting. It
wasn't
wasn't there. Now let me break it down. I when I was dating my, I believe on set I can let everybody know her, you know. And I was dating Gloria, you know. She'll never come to your house and cook.
I don't do that. No.
She will never come to your house and cook.
I'm not married to you.
So-
We are
No,
dating.
I don't do that.
So in my mind, I thought she wasn't a good cook. And
Not
myself,
a wife material.
I also wasn't a good cook. But I realized I like her all the same. So in my mindset, I was ready. We will eat outside the rest of our life. And when I got married to her, and moreover, in dating, we never spent, times together. The setting was such that while she was in school, I was on holidays. Whilst I was on holidays, she was in school, that kind of setting. And the moment we completed, I had to travel abroad. She was in Ghana, and the setting was on and off like that. So it was like, a gamble for me. Whatever happens, I take it like that.
Yeah.
And the shock of my life, she'll cook.
She
The
cooks and
shock of
cleans.
my life, the way she would take care of the home, it really took me aback. I was like, so what was she doing? She could do all of these things, and
She was being a baby
She-
girl.
No, it was my principle.
she
wonder.
projected
Because
the situation.
I wanted
you know,
someone to marry me, not because of the things that I could do.
Yeah.
To love me just the
who
way I
I
am.
am.
You
Yeah.
know, and not for anyone to say because you wanted marriage, that's why you were doing all this.
this.
Or like those who
hated
go
those
and
things.
wash and
They'll
cook
come and wash. I wash.
I don't wash, I
all
don't
those kind
clean,
of things.
I don't do anything of that
I won't
sort.
do it.
No.
Let's meet at a pub
we
and
eat from the restaurant.
from the restaurant. Keep your bankuta at home, and then later we'll punish your kids' head. But I understand.
but yeah.
It's you
Yeah, it
remember
was
Gloria
just
when
my
we were doing our
principle.
for me,
masters.
that was the shock for me.
When we were doing our masters, Gloria used to tell us that we shouldn't
Yeah,
do
no,
all
I
those
used to-
things.
Gloria-
She used to
that's
advise
Gloria's,
us
like,
when we
propaganda.
were not dating.
Do not
That
friend
she
those
goes to
do
the
it.
guy's home to do anything.
No, don't do.
It's 50-50. It works, it doesn't work. If I was the kind who was looking for a lady who was,
You would have left.
laborious, or probably I wouldn't have thought of her.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the reason why you marry. You see, the reason why we marry should not be centered on, certain superficial
Cooking
things.
and all that.
Yeah.
And when it
Then you
when
go
it
for a house
gets
help.
when it
Exactly.
gets when it gets to that area, then you are not really going in for marriage.
Yeah.
You are going in for domestic stuff.
Hey,
Or you are
then
going in
paying
for-
them.
And people
Go get
actually
them.
Exactly.
change as well.
Exactly.
People change. And there are different circumstances that change. For example, maybe I'm at home now, cook more. When I work, I may not cook more, as much. So it just depends. And so it's more about the character, how malleable the person is, how willing the person is to do life with you, basically do life with you and go through the challenges and the ups and the everything with you, basically.
Just
And
to
not
chip in that I think marriage shouldn't be centered on whether the lady can cook, that she can clean,
Yeah.
that she can fold and all that. I have a cousin who got married. Before she was getting married to the guy, my uncle asked the guy, "Do you know my daughter doesn't know how to cook?" And she said, "Yes, but I'm actually not marrying her because she can't, because maybe she can cook or she doesn't cook. But trust me, my cousin is someone, when it comes to money and numbers, very good. In just 1 year of marriage, they've had built 2 houses. So imagine if a lady is working, using her brains to get us money. You're talking about this forex and trading and all that. She's just sitting behind computer doing that. What makes you think you can't afford a cook? What makes you think you can't afford a company to clean the house every weekend? Now we have this laundries and all
some
that.
people prefer their wives. There's some men like that. They want their wives
Exactly,
to
sure.
make fresh juice and fresh.
But it shouldn't be
whatever
that. It shouldn't be. When we're coming,
I think that's why.
No,
I think that's why you should know yourself before you're marrying. You know that you want
Exactly.
this, then she's not the one for you.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
it.
Then you stop.
Don't wait
We've
for
got men
someone
that
and
can
try
also
to
cook.
change the person. That's
No.
it.
Point.
We've got men that can cook,
like I was
clean, do
saying,
laundry and everything.
Yeah.
The mindset is not to get a laborer in the house.
Exactly.
The mindset is not to get But then, if you get someone who is able to cook and cooks well,
But then it's a bonus for you.
Yeah, exactly.
the mindset is to marry someone you love, someone you are ready to spend
grow
the
with.
rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Heck.
Whether there are children, whether there are those superficial activities, all those things become a plus.
Exactly.
The most important thing is how much you love and value the person. If that stays on board and on the top of the situation, you are at peace.
You
Yeah.
are good to go.
When she cooks, and when she got home and she was able to cook, I was like, hallelujah. I was in heaven. One other thing was I felt she couldn't manage the house because all the time when we are around, you'd have to buy from outside. You'd have to do things, you know. And I was like, seeing her taking care of the home really got me shocked. I was like, wow. So all these things were in this lady. If I had gone in for another, I would have gambled.
So was it
wrong.
cha-cha you did?
No, I believed in what I wanted.
Okay.
It wasn't cha-cha for me.
Yeah.
See, these things were superficial and I didn't care about them.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
If I cared about those things, and let me say this advice I've always been saying. I love it.
Draw your expectation to zero.
Yeah.
2 weeks before I went to marry, I was running from, one mentor to the other, seeking for advice. And let me use this very opportunity to really announce this man's name. He's Mr. Jonas Opoku-Forsen. He blessed me very much. I went to his home and I told him, Daddy, time has come for your son to go marry. What advice do you have for me? Now this man looks at me and he said, Sammy, set your expectations to zero. I was like, Daddy, how do you mean? He said, listen, you are going to marry. If you have your expectation of the woman to be at level 50, when she comes in and she's putting in level 49, you'll not be satisfied. But when the level is set to zero, whatever she does, you would appreciate her. And it was a game changer for me because I had in mind how my wife should be. I had a picture of the woman you were marrying, how she should be able to do this, how she should be able to do that. And at that moment, it was like they had poured cold water on me. I had to delete everything and begin to see her in the light of what she is representing. Because we've never stayed together.
Yeah.
Now, staying together, whatever she's bringing on the table should be her level 1. Yeah. If she progresses from there, it becomes level 2. But if I stage a level 10 for her and she's at level 9, I'll still not be satisfied. That is what breaks so many marriages, expectations. You are looking for a lady who is like McDonald's in bed, or friends, a McDonald's. There was a very mafia porn star.
I don't know because I don't actually watched.
All right. There is a name they call her. Let's use that. If you have that particular setting in mind, this is how my lady should be in bed. Your lady might probably be like the next porn star level. But then you will not feel satisfied because you have already ingrained a particular level. You're looking for someone who is, very laborious, is able to, help you in the house. This person would be helping you, but not to the level you are expecting. You still find it a problem. If you have no level at all, you appreciate whatever she's bringing and you grow from there. And that was the game changer for me. For me, if there is anything that has helped me in marriage, I'm able to tolerate what my wife is bringing because I didn't have an already, mental, setup or fixed situation for it. No, anything she does is new for me. Even if I knew the old, I deleted everything. We're starting on a clean sheet. Whatever she's bringing on the table, I say, okay, you've brought 1. I appreciate it. If you can bring 2, let's try and then see if you can bring 2. So we build on from there.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer. This just, by the way.
Yeah, it's very important.
And
I wanted to highlight that, I've seen people, I don't know whether it's a generation, but I've seen that when people say things online, people really misinterpret the words. I don't know, it's because they just don't understand the concept or what. When he says, keep expectations to minimum, he is not meaning
don't have
a standard.
No.
You can have a standard.
No.
This is the kind of person I want. But the expectation is what the person is coming to do. I want the person to get up, do this, do that, fresh breakfast. People are like that.
Yeah,
fresh this. Oh, and then the next day I want a different food. Some people too are like, I want my wife to be wearing heel all the time. She has to be makeup on. There's some people like that. These are expectations that, women aren't necessarily like that. There are women who want to be like that. And there are women who, just want to be chill.
I just want to wear t-shirts and just move around.
So these are the kind of expectations, not standards, but the expectations is what he's referring.
Exactly.
It's
very good you did this clarification, because some people will take you out of context.
Exactly.
It's true.
And it will be a whole lot of things seen on the social media.
And there will be a bombarding in the comments.
Just like she said, when the lady does makeup or doesn't do makeup, it doesn't change anything.
Exactly.
It's the same lady you want to marry.
Yeah.
If she does the makeup, it's a plus. So why not set that expectation to, I don't care what she does.
Like, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful the way she looks. If she comes and then she adds the touch to it, wow, it's okay. I can accept it. The moment you have that particular mindset, you are always, in one way or the other, going to feel disappointed. Because the mindset gives you a level. And if that level is not met, the lady's effort is always not appreciated. Or the guy's effort will always not be appreciated. And that is what helped me in life or in marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are talking about.
Yeah,
so
great.
viewers, don't, shift it out of any other context.
Yeah. So we are rounding up. Did you guys have any cultural shocks within your marriage? Anything that you think is interesting that you'd want to highlight before we finish?
Oh, one thing I want to touch on is the fact that we are both Ghanaians married, but the way things are done abroad is different from the way things are done in Ghana, especially for housekeeping money. In Ghana...
Housekeeping money?
Yes. In Ghana, people actually give money to their wives every time to prepare food, to do this, to do that. But I think abroad it's quite different.
Yeah.
Abroad it's quite different. And it's also, I think, one thing that a lot of people talk about, comparing Ghana to this place, even though you are married to the same person from your tribe or from your same country, but the marriage is quite different, because of how this place is different from Ghana.
So can you tell us what changes for someone who doesn't have an idea?
So as Ghana, probably the man gives money to the wife every time to cook or anything.
They
but
call it
abroad,
is that what you're talking about?
Yes, but abroad is different because like you are earning your own money, you also earn, so you also have to support.
In Ghana, it's still the same.
Yeah. Like there are people in Ghana.
No, some people too do. They give.
There are people
like every
who are
day
working.
They give money.
Over here, people do the same.
No,
I mean they are not.
Over here, people do
maybe
the same.
some.
There are some people
maybe.
who have accepted their wife to be housewives. So definitely,
you are not working.
They will leave money for them.
The certificate to be placed on this.
They allow them take their, social intervention or welfare money as money that really they use to, cater for things in the house.
Yeah.
So they channel all those welfare system or welfare money through their wives and make sure that use it and then do this and do that.
Yeah.
That is that. Abroad, the only difference is probably the guy would be quite, so fixed on curbing financial, spending such that he won't give you the money to go buy the things in the supermarket. He would go buy the things from the supermarket and bring it home.
Yeah.
But
so I think it changes mainly.
It
It depends. So as we're saying, it just depends. I think she's talking mostly about those that were housewives in Ghana and then were brought here and then maybe started doing one or two things. The marriage or the way it was in Ghana shifts when it comes to Europe for sure. It's not the same. And I've seen this cause a lot of issues in marriage.
I think it's the same also in Ghana.
The environment
shifting.
Both of us are working. I don't think
I'm
Ghana...
referring to,
if you are working, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm
but
referring
if
to
you are
those
not working,
who were being taken care of in Ghana. You understand?
okay.
You're working here, and in Ghana, you change the money, it becomes plenty, you send it to your wife. Once these people
your
come
husband
here,
sends the money to you in Ghana. That's what you're talking about.
So once this kind of women come here, usually there's a shift.
Okay.
Because number one, the 50 euro is no more. 50 euro is buying those 3 things. And he's probably not giving it to you again every month, So things shift. That's what she's probably talking about.
Okay, I now get it. Yeah.
So that can cause a shift. Okay, that's interesting.
For me, I mean, as a girl marrying into an Ashanti culture, one thing, I wouldn't really call it a shock, but I mean, it's something I always tell my husband. And I'm to me kind of see, and then move forward. I've realized that with him, if anytime they have to discuss something, like it's like they all have to meet in one space.
Oh, wait, I think I've noticed.
Really?
Or is it like even a call?
No, not like, I mean, at times even with the call, because especially he's here, maybe like the big brother, everyone, they'll come to the mom, then they all sit on phone and talk. But then, like, let me use this example. Like, when we got married, we finished after the wedding and everything. Me, my mom, my dad, no one said, come and sit down, let's give you last advice, go this, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, we've been doing it.
We've been talking all this while leading up to the wedding. I guess
just go get it.
Yeah.
But like when I went to my husband's house, like we had a sit-in, and the mom advised us, the brothers gave theirs, and all that. I realized the setting I see in my home as a girl was different, and even when we came here, I see that every time when something has to be spoken about. Like
there should be
everyone has.
Oh, it's true. Whereas
it's
you are more like,
thing.
Hey, babe, you remember this kind of
Yeah.
And he is more like, okay, we will have time to sit down to talk about this.
No, me, I have topics. Like I have topics I just don't brush off. Let me use an example. Let's say we were fighting about this chair here, and we've still not found a common ground. It's time for us to sit. But I mean, not maybe talking about the fan. Okay, let's buy the fan tomorrow. Let's sit down and talk about it. No, let's go to the shop and talk about it and just buy the fan. I have topics where I want to table the conversation. But I have topics we can decide on it and just move
I don't know
forward.
if it's about
I think with Ashantis,
I don't know.
We have the king and the elders, and they always sit and talk. I think it's a cultural thing, and it's actually in their homes, and that's one thing I see from my husband. But I don't see that in my home. Even at times, if my mom and we are in my sis, we have to talk. Okay, boy, send him all a voice note. Get off here, about reply me. We could just send voice note messages.
I kind of get what you're saying.
On it. We don't sit like family talk about the moment there is. Family, my sister, that means something important has to be spoken about.
Yeah.
But if not, no, but it's not a cultural shock to me, but it's not something we do as Gans a lot. But I see that my husband and the Ashanti as like Ashanti culture is something they do. And if I'm to talk about it, maybe because, even way back in Ghana, we have the presidents, but it's like the Ashanti president is like the second president, So like something is seen different. Like the Ashantis want
that culture.
You agree? You are Ashanti, right?
No, he's a
not
Ashanti guy.
Oh, okay.
Close to the Ashanti, but not. Go watch him.
Okay, I thought.
No, but I understand what they are very traditional.
Exactly, they are.
Maybe that's the word.
Yeah, they are very traditionalist, and they expect things to be done in that particular way.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of one adjusting to the system.
Yeah.
I don't think at some point in time it becomes really a thing that really strikes nerves,
It does.
But at most of it also solves the problem.
Exactly.
And if that is going to be the setting, it's just a little adjustment you do in the back of your mind that this is how this thing goes.
Like okay.
So
I don't really mind. It's not a shock
shift
for me.
into the system and then we leave it.
Yeah.
Next time,
my husband does a lot of meetings as well.
Yeah, because he's an Ashanti, so it's just like that.
But then I guess it's similar.
If you fail to call it, me I'm a frama. At least,
but I also feel that
about that situation.
So, I also feel like at times when like it's always like in kind of this setting, like it drags the progress of the family.
See, I see what you mean.
Because why? Let's just decide on it. Let's move. I'm not saying at times we shouldn't table things.
She's speaking a disagreement situation.
No,
like
you can just switch it on. And
no, but then because listen, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. We are supposed to meet and talk about something.
We're rounding up, guys.
Today, John couldn't come. Okay, let's move it to next week. Next week, Sammy is busy at work. Yes, then you are unable to talk about.
Oh, okay.
That is what I'm talking.
The people that are around.
That's why we have telephone. For me, let's just send it
because now you can communicate easily with the phone.
What she's saying, I'm laughing because I've kind of observed it. Yeah. Not even just.
I'm not
just in my home, but I see it in some churches. It's just a way of speech. Just a way. It's like you said, they are doing like it's almost like a memory or something like one. It's like step by step. And I said you could have said this in 10 minutes. You know,
and you know that
exactly. You know they will say and they will say then there's like they behave like the culture.
As he said, they are traditional.
You know, let's just go straight
some
to
of these things. They are things we don't have to throw away.
Yeah, no, of course, you're right.
It's just like my mom used to tell me, listen, you're a mamre, and you have to live like an adult. Whenever anybody comes to your house, give the person water. Then bisane kwan so. Hadi eboko, maybe a free. It should be a formality. Some of us we feel.
I don't have
Charlie, once you are in there,
you are in.
Come on, Charlie, what's up? How was the day?
You called, you were coming because of something, so you already know.
And that is where generation gap really sets in.
There's a gap there.
A generation feels this is how we do it.
Yeah.
And the other generation feels this is how it should be done.
Exactly.
And I think it doesn't change anything. Yeah. It's just a second. If I have to learn, I learn. And I love it when, you would meet with those elders and they would expect you to play that role and you are playing it and they are happy you are playing it. But then,
but we are not going to practice it. When we get to the olden setting, then we
maybe
practice
when we are with old people, yes. But when we are with young people, there's no
imagine
it depends on your spouse and your house.
No way.
Young people ask your clients
depends on how
you are here because of the birthday celebration.
It depends.
It depends.
Maybe you want to carry it on. They say key soap, the tradition goes.
No.
So
with elderly people, yes, but with young people, no.
No, things
probably
are
the person called on the phone. I'm coming for food.
This is what we do.
This is the AI generation.
We are throwing away the culture. We are throwing away the culture.
No. But Sammy, listen.
You don't throw away the culture.
No, it's not true.
I call
you use it when necessary, not every time.
There is a certain that I've been told. When you do something for me today, with us in this our generation, you say thank you and that's the end.
Yeah.
The older generation will tell you the next morning,
my mommy used to
call the person again and tell the person thank you. And this is not a bad thing.
I tend to do that. Actually, I do that now depending on the person.
It's not a bad thing, even if you do it consistently. I think these are some of the things that are cultural.
It's like to show appreciation that you really appreciated.
Appreciation has been already appreciated.
Right?
That is how we, the new generation, we think. Once I tell you thank you there and then, it ends the situation.
Let me give you a scenario.
But they see things differently.
Please, let
me give you a scenario. Let me give Sammy a scenario. Sammy, you call and tell me, Petroli now, them say, and me found my GB. Then you get it and I'm like, a coin, so I didn't know why. Then you go, cause I'm saying me free pets and tell me about on radio and I'm quite missing. Then she's asking me,
I don't know if they have coin so in such a case.
You know?
So that means
that is also another sentence.
No, so that means the question should be asked, not always.
Not always. We practice the culture, but not always.
You people are throwing away the spirit.
We are not throwing it away. We will do it. We'll practice it.
When it is a touch and go, you don't sit down and do culture.
Yeah.
Someone is dead in the family. People are coming to visit.
That one, their culture.
You would have to present the culture.
Yeah.
That one, yes.
I think we are all saying the same thing.
We are not saying no.
We are all saying the same thing.
You know the person is coming to your house to sympathize with you or to give you his condolence. Why would you ask? Let the person give the condolence.
No. in that case, you can do the culture.
That is the point.
But not when it's an informal
Not every
setting.
time.
And
Informal
just your
setting,
casual
why would you
friends
go
are
with an
coming.
informal
Let me give
setting?
Sammy another
I think
scenario.
we are all saying
Let
the
me give
same
you
thing.
Sammy another
In an
scenario.
informal situation, it does not matter. Check, I step in your house, I'm there to collect a bag,
And you are
I have
coming
to
to
sit
sit
down
down.
for
Go and sweat.
Amamre to be done.
Exactly what we are saying.
That's what we are saying.
Gloria said we should come and surprise you for your
We are
birthday.
saying
get
the
Gloria
same
said,
thing.
"Ekwan swear, Ekwan swear, you're not afraid."
We are saying the same. We are saying the
This
same.
this cannot be, in that setting. But what we are trying to educate people on is culture is culture.
Of course, that one
At
is
certain
true.
areas, some of these things would have to be, will be taken into consideration
Yes.
or even done. And it's very important we also, show it to our children.
Yeah.
Me, at first, when they used to tell me, I felt this crazy, I've already said thank you to the person. Why else? But, as elders, it carries a heavier or a weightier, reason.
Yeah,
And I think doing it does not change anything.
Yeah.
Plus, we are no more the youngsters. Now we are the aunties and uncles. We're
Right.
becoming them. So
We
now,
should be setting
We are
the right
gradually becoming them.
cultural example.
Now we have report cards and all that. We are no more in JHS.
Exactly.
We have kids. We are reading report cards at the end of the academic year,
Yeah.
So we are becoming
Yeah.
aunties very soon.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. And I believe we've learned something else. Every episode is very educative. And I think that is why you listening to me now or watching me now should be tuned in all the time to the Diary Podcast. And you can look for us on Instagram at the Diary Podcast _ and then also we'll put the other details on the screen so you can have a look. Remember you can also send us topics, DM us if you want any particular thing to be discussed, and also share to your parents, your in-laws, in fact, your enemies, anybody, just share. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye.